Welcome back to Signal 2030, where we explore the scientific breakthroughs that are shaping our future.
Welcome back. Today we're diving into something profoundly universal, something you do every single day, yet honestly, it remains shrouded in so much mystery.
That's right. I'm looking forward to this one.
Sleep. You might just think of it as rest, a pause in your busy life, but what if it's far more fundamental? What if it's this ancient imperative woven into the very fabric of life itself, dictating so much of our health, our daily existence? I'm genuinely fascinated by this. Okay, let's unpack this.
Absolutely. It truly is one of the most pervasive biological phenomena we see. It spans virtually all life forms from, say, the simplest jellyfish, which don't even have a centralized brain,
Right.
all the way to the most complex mammals, like us.
Hmm.
And what's fascinating here is the profound evolutionary paradox sleep presents. I mean, think about it. Why would nature select for a state of such vulnerability, where an organism is less responsive, less mobile, completely exposed?
Those are predators, yeah.
Exactly, if it wasn't overwhelmingly, undeniably essential for survival. Our mission today is to sort of connect the dots, take you on a journey from sleep's, well, maybe billion-year-old origins, right up to the cutting-edge neurochemical switches that orchestrate our daily slumber.
That really is the core of it, isn't it? That vulnerability. It just seems so counterintuitive to survival of the fittest. You look at an animal sleeping deeply, it's basically a sitting duck. We definitely take our own sleep for granted, but what exactly elevates it from just, feeling tired to being an absolute biological imperative, something our bodies must do?
It's the very definition of a non-negotiable biological function. I mean, the fact that sleep-like behaviors popped up in creatures without central nervous system.
Like those jellyfish you mentioned.
Precisely. Almost a billion years ago. That suggests a far more primal, maybe cellular level purpose. Perhaps it started as just a fundamental need for cellular recovery or metabolic regulation, and brains later adapted and built upon that foundation. But make no mistake, sleep is anything but passive. The scientific consensus is incredibly strong. It's not just nice to have.
Yeah.
It's an essential function, a biological necessity. And the consequences of skipping it, they're stark and they're immediate for us. Without adequate sleep, your concentration, your ability to think clearly, your memory, they all take a significant hit.
You definitely feel that fog.
Oh, yeah. And physically, your immune system gets suppressed. You're at increased risk for really serious conditions, heart problems, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and emotionally, irritability, mood swings. Even more severe mood disorders can become common.
Wow.
It's why public health organizations are increasingly advocating for sleep being just as crucial for your well-being as, say, a healthy diet and regular exercise. It's truly a cornerstone.
So if it's that vital, that non-negotiable, what exactly is sleep for? It sounds like there isn't just one single answer, but maybe a combination of powerful reasons. What are some of the leading theories scientists are looking at?
Exactly. It's less about one single purpose and more like a multifaceted survival strategy. Think of it as nature's ultimate Swiss Army knife, tackling various critical needs all at once.
Okay, I like that analogy.
So first, there's the inactivity theory. This basically suggests sleep evolved to keep creatures inactive during their most vulnerable periods, like the dark of night. It reduces their risk of getting eaten or injured. If you can't see well or forage efficiently in the dark, better to just lie low and stay safe. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, purely from a safety perspective.
Then we have the energy conservation theory. When you're asleep, your body actually reduces its energy demand. Your metabolism can decrease by up to 10%. This is highly efficient during times when maybe foraging or hunting wouldn't be very productive anyway. Conserve those calories.
Resource management, basically.
Right. Then there's the restoration theory, which is maybe the most intuitive one. It's when the body really repairs and replenishes itself. We see things like growth hormone being released for tissue repair. The immune system gets a significant boost. It's like hitting the reset button every night.
Okay, physical maintenance.
And finally, there's the brain plasticity theory, which is incredibly powerful, especially for learning and memory. Sleep is crucial for neural reorganization, for growth and development. This is super evident in infants, They need 14 or more hours of sleep because their brains are developing so rapidly.
Right, that makes sense.
And for adults, too, it's absolutely vital for memory consolidation and learning. Your brain literally organizes and strengthens memories while you're asleep, particularly during certain stages.
So it's not just rest, it's active work happening in the brain.
Active, essential work. So we connect this to the bigger picture. All these theories really point to one unifying idea. Sleep is fundamentally a resilient, active form of cellular recovery and cognitive optimization. It's a highly sophisticated, evolved process, kind of like how our bodies regulate temperature or maintain stable internal chemistry. It's all about maintaining that essential biological balance.
That's a really powerful way to frame it, a biological Swiss Army knife, actively maintaining us. And it's amazing how universal this process seems to be. But does it look the same across all species? Because I've heard about some truly wild adaptations out there in the animal kingdom, things that make human sleep seem, well, pretty straightforward.
Oh, it manifests in incredibly varied ways, each one optimized for a species' unique ecological niche, its lifestyle. Sleep duration alone varies wildly. You've got elephants maybe needing only 4 hours, while a little brown bat might clock in 19 hours.
19 hours,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. But generally, sleep is identified by a few key things: immobility, suppressed responsiveness to what's going on around them, and, crucially, the ability to quickly wake up if needed. It's not like a coma. And ecological factors heavily influence these patterns. For instance, predation risk is huge.
Not bad.
Migrating songbirds or newborn dolphins and whales, they'll actually sacrifice sleep for constant vigilance. If you're likely to become someone's dinner, being asleep is a big risk.
So they just stay awake for longer periods.
Or they develop other strategies. We'll get to that. Also, foraging needs dictate sleep. Herbivores, for example, often sleep less simply because they need more waking hours to find and consume enough food to survive. There was this fascinating experiment with ducks. Some were given plenty of food, others had to forage for it. The ducks that got the free food slept significantly more than the ones who had to work for it. It directly shows that link between energy balance and sleep need.
Interesting. Less work, more sleep.
Kind of. Thermoregulation plays a role too. REM sleep, the stage where we dream vividly, involves reduced control over body temperature. This might explain why it's significantly reduced or even absent in marine mammals like dolphins who live in water and constantly need to manage their body heat.
Okay, the environment matters there too.
Definitely. And sometimes, believe it or not, reproductive fitness actually trumps sleep. Pectoral sandpipers during their intense mating season. Researchers observed that males who stayed awake longer actually had greater mating success. So sleep can be sacrificed, at least in the short term, for that evolutionary drive to reproduce.
Nature always finds a way, huh? Even if it means skipping sleep.
It's all trade-offs. But here's where it gets really interesting. These unique adaptations, like unihemispheric slow-wave sleep or USWS,
Unihemispheric. One hemisphere.
exactly. We see this in many birds and marine mammals, dolphins, whales, seals. One half of the brain literally stays awake while the other half sleeps.
You're kidding. How does that even work?
It's amazing. Imagine a dolphin swimming along, maybe keeping one eye open, constantly aware of its surroundings, navigating, even surfacing for air,
Right.
while half its brain is getting deep, restorative, slow-wave sleep.
That is absolutely mind-blowing. Constant vigilance and rest.
It's the ultimate multitasking. And then there's REM sleep, which we touched on. That stage with vivid dreaming and temporary muscle paralysis called atonia. Now, crucially, REM sleep only occurs in mammals and birds.
Okay.
But the incredible part is that mammals and birds evolved completely separately down very different evolutionary paths.
So it wasn't inherited from a common ancestor.
Nope. It means REM sleep independently manifested twice in evolutionary history. This kind of convergent evolution strongly points to its critical role. It seems tied to higher cognition, learning, memory consolidation functions that became really important as complex brains evolved. Nature found the solution so effective, it basically invented it twice.
Wow. Convergent evolution for REM sleep. That's incredible. So, okay, bring it back to us humans. How does our sleep fit into this grand evolutionary story? Did we evolve a specific, unique way of sleeping compared to, say, our primate cousins?
We absolutely did, and it's a fascinating trajectory. Our ancestors, much like other great apes, started constructing sleeping platforms or nests way back. We're talking maybe 18 to 14 million years ago.
Nests in trees, presumably.
Initially, yes. Building these stable, elevated sites allowed for deeper, more sustained, less interrupted sleep. This is believed to have led to what's called the sleep quality hypothesis. The idea is that simply getting better sleep enabled enhanced cognitive function and brain development over time. Better sleep, bigger brains, essentially.
Okay, safety and quality.
Then came a really pivotal shift. It's encapsulated in the tree-to-ground hypothesis. This was the transition to sleeping on the ground, which is actually quite rare among other apes. Most stayed in the trees.
Why move to the ground? Seems riskier.
It offered potentially greater stability, maybe allowing for even longer stretches of high-quality sleep without worrying about falling. But
Yeah, This raises an important question. What about the massively increased predation risk on the ground? That seems like a huge downside.
Absolutely. And this is where another key scientific breakthrough likely played a crucial role: the controlled use of fire by early Homo erectus. Fire was probably essential for making ground sleep viable and secure.
Ah, protection.
Exactly. Fire provided protection from predators, it offered warmth thermoregulation, and it likely helped repel insects, too. So fire wasn't just for cooking or social gatherings, it might have been a sleep revolution, enabling that move to the ground.
That's incredible. The thought that fire literally helped shape how we sleep. But here's another twist, right? Despite the potential for longer, maybe more stable ground sleep thanks to fire,
Yeah.
humans actually have the shortest sleep duration among all primates.
Right.
Yet we have the highest proportion of REM sleep.
Yeah.
That seems like another paradox. How does that work?
It is a paradox, and it reflects a really sophisticated evolutionary trade-off, one that must have offered significant fitness benefits for our ancestors. Reducing our total sleep time probably minimized our overall period of vulnerability. It freed up more waking hours for other crucial activities.
Like learning, socializing.
Exactly. Learning complex skills, intricate socializing, defending territory, avoiding predators, and maybe even hostile members of our own species. All those things that require wakefulness. But the increased proportion of REM sleep meant we were packing more of that cognitively vital, memory-consolidating sleep into the shorter time we were asleep.
So efficiency. We evolved to be efficient sleepers.
Highly efficient. Our brains got more bang for their buck, so to speak, during sleep. It was this brilliant balance that allowed us to be effective, highly cognitive beings during our waking hours and get the essential brain benefits of sleep, particularly REM, in a shorter window.
A sophisticated optimization. Okay, so we've explored why we sleep, the theories, the needs, and how it's evolved across species, including our own unique path. But let's get down to the mechanics. On a more immediate physiological level, how does our body actually know when it's time to sleep? What's regulating this incredibly precise daily rhythm?
Now we get into the beautiful machinery of the biological clock system. This system essentially keeps us synchronized with the 24-hour cycle of our planet. And at the very heart of this system sits the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN.
SEN.
It's a tiny bilateral structure, meaning there's one on each side deep within your hypothalamus in the brain. This is your central pacemaker or master clock for most of your circadian rhythms.
The conductor of the orchestra.
That's a great way to put it, and it's remarkably precise. It has about 10,000 neurons per nucleus, and it's organized into roughly two main parts. There's a core region that gets direct light input from your eyes.
The main time signal.
Right, that's how it knows if it's day or night. And then there's a shell region that helps coordinate other vital rhythms throughout your body, things like your hunger and thirst cycles, body temperature.
Okay, so this master clock, the SCN,
Yeah.
how does it actually get its instructions from the outside world? And then how does it tell the rest of the body, okay, time to sync up?
It's exquisitely tuned to environmental cues, and the primary one, by far, is light. It receives these crucial light signals directly from specialized photosensitive cells in your retina, not the rods and cones you use for vision, but different cells.
Really? Specific cells just for the clock?
Yep, via a dedicated pathway called the aretinohypothalamic tract, or RHT. There's also some indirect input influenced by non-light stimuli like physical activity, maybe even social cues to some extent. And neurotransmitters like serotonin can also modulate its activity.
So it's listening to a few different inputs.
Mainly light, but yes, once it processes these signals, its major output pathway is to the pineal gland.
This is where the hormone melatonin comes in.
Exactly. The SCN tells the pineal gland when it's dark, and the pineal gland then releases melatonin into the bloodstream, primarily at night. And melatonin is the hormone that makes you feel sleepy, helps initiate sleep. Now, important point. The SCN's own natural internal cycle isn't perfectly 24 hours. It's actually slightly longer, on average about 24.2 hours.
So it drifts a bit on its own.
It would, yes. So it constantly needs daily adjustment or entrainment to stay aligned with Earth's precise 24-hour rotation. And this is where those environmental cues, what scientists call Zeitgebers, that's German for timekeepers, become so critical.
Light being the main one.
Light and darkness are by far the most powerful Zeitgebers. But other factors like consistent meal timing, regular exercise, even social interactions and daily routines can act as weaker Zeitgebers, helping to fine-tune the clock. These cues prompt the SCN to trigger cascades of hormone releases and chemical signals throughout your body, ensuring all your vital functions are synchronized: digestion, temperature, alertness, everything.
So what does this all mean for us today?
It means this delicate, evolutionarily refined balance is incredibly vulnerable to modern disruptions. Artificial light is the big one.
Our screens, indoor lighting.
Exactly. Especially blue light from screens late at night. It basically tells our SCN, hey, it's still daytime. This suppresses melatonin release, makes it harder to fall asleep, shifts our rhythms, and can lead to impaired daily functioning and, over the long term, compromised health.
It really makes you think twice about scrolling in bed, doesn't it?
It absolutely should. We're essentially giving our master clock the wrong time signals.
Okay, so the SCN is the master conductor. Does it just manage the overall sleep-wake cycle, or does it control other clocks elsewhere in the body too?
Oh, it's definitely the master oscillator for a reason. It doesn't just manage sleep and wakefulness, it coordinates numerous peripheral clocks located in almost every single organ and tissue in your body.
Clocks in my liver, my muscles.
Yes. Your liver, kidneys, heart, lungs, muscles, even your fat cells. Each of these organs has its own internal circadian clock, based on the expression of specific clock genes. Their functions naturally follow a daily rhythm. The SCN's job is to ensure that all these peripheral clocks are synchronized with each other and with the external day-night cycle. This optimizes physiological efficiency across the board.
So everything is working together on the same schedule.
That's the goal. When your liver is expecting food at a certain time or your muscles are primed for activity, that's the SCN making sure all these internal systems are playing the same tune, working in harmony.
This is just incredibly intricate. But okay, zooming in even further, on a moment-to-moment basis, how does the brain actually switch? How do we go from being wide awake and alert to being sound asleep? What are the specific chemical players flipping that switch?
Yeah, it's a really dynamic, almost seesaw like interplay of chemical signals. On the sleep promoting side, the main player is GABA, or gamma aminobutyric acid.
GABA, okay. I've heard of that.
It's the brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter. You can think of it as the brain's natural brake or sedative. GABA actively promotes sleep by damping down the activity of excitatory neurotransmitters and inhibiting brain regions that keep us awake and aroused, places like the basal forebrain and parts of the hypothalamus. The specific neurons that release GABA, particularly in an area called the VLPO, we'll mention later, become more active as you drift off to sleep and stay highly active throughout non-REM sleep.
So more GABA means more sleepiness.
Essentially, yes. Its proper functioning is absolutely critical for falling asleep and staying asleep. And disruptions in GABA signaling are strongly linked to conditions like insomnia. Many sleeping pills actually work by enhancing GABA's effects.
Okay, so GABA's pushing the sleep button. What about the chemicals hitting the awake button, keeping us alert?
That's where orexin, which is also known as hypocretin, comes into play. This is a peptide neurotransmitter discovered relatively recently in the late 90s.
Orexin, okay.
And its critical role in wakefulness was identified just a few years later, around 2001. Orexin-producing neurons are located in a very specific part of your hypothalamus, and they send out strong activating signals throughout the brain, basically driving other key arousal systems, like those using cysteine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. Orexin promotes and, crucially, stabilizes wakefulness.
Stabilizes. What does that mean exactly?
It prevents unwanted transitions. The profound importance of orexin became dramatically clear when scientists discovered that its loss is the direct cause of most cases of human narcolepsy.
Narcolepsy, right. That causes sudden sleep attacks.
Exactly. People with type 1 narcolepsy can have lost up to 90% of their orexin-producing cells. This lack of orexin leads to their characteristic excessive daytime sleepiness, fragmented nighttime sleep, and sometimes cataplexy or sudden muscle weakness. So orexin isn't just a simple on switch, it's a sophisticated modulator. It fine-tunes and stabilizes the awake state, preventing those sudden, inappropriate shifts between sleep and wakefulness.
Wow. So losing that one chemical has such a drastic effect, it really highlights its importance.
Absolutely.
So we've got GABA pushing for sleep, orexin pushing for wakefulness. It really sounds like a push and pull. Is there a sort of master mechanism that manages this switching process? Something that ensures we're either mostly awake or mostly asleep, not constantly hovering in between?
Yes, exactly. The brain employs a really elegant solution, often described as a flip-flop circuit. Think of an old-fashioned toggle switch for a light. It's either firmly on or firmly off, right? It doesn't really linger in the middle.
Right, it clicks from one state to the other.
Precisely. That's largely how your sleep-wake cycle operates, thanks to this circuitry. This circuit involves a mutually inhibitory interaction. That means two groups of neurons are basically telling each other to shut up. On one side, you have the sleep-promoting neurons, particularly in a key area called the ventrolateral preoptic nucleus, or VLPO, located in the hypothalamus. These are mainly GABAergic neurons. They release GABA. On the other side, you have the main components of the ascending arousal system, those neurons using orexin, histamine, norepinephrine, serotonin, acetylcholine, etc., that actively promote wakefulness.
So the sleep neurons and the wake neurons inhibit each other.
Exactly. When the VLPO, the sleep center, is active, it releases GABA and strongly inhibits the arousal system, essentially flipping the switch to sleep. Conversely, when the arousal system is active, it inhibits the VLPO, keeping the sleep center quiet and flipping the switch firmly to wakefulness. Orexin plays a key role here in stabilizing that wake state and keeping the arousal system firing. This flip-flop design creates two very stable patterns of activity. Either the sleep neurons are winning or the wake neurons are winning.
Which explains why transitions are usually pretty quick.
Precisely. This robust architecture is why our sleep-wake transitions are typically so abrupt. Mammals, including us, spend only a tiny fraction of the day, maybe 1% to 2%, in a truly ambiguous transitional state. It's an evolutionary marvel designed for optimizing energy use and responsiveness. You're either ready for action or you're efficiently resting.
What an absolutely incredible journey through the science of sleep. It really is mind-blowing to stop thinking about sleep as just this passive downtime and instead see it as this fundamental, actively regulated biological imperative, something deeply conserved across potentially billions of years of evolution, despite all the vulnerability it sometimes creates. From the simplest early life forms right up to our own uniquely adapted human sleep, it just seems crystal clear that nature has prioritized rest and restoration above almost everything else.
Indeed, sleep truly is a dynamic, multi-layered homeostatic system. It's been continuously refined by natural selection over eons. It masterfully balances those inherent survival risks, the vulnerability, with absolutely critical restorative functions, metabolic regulation, and, especially in complex animals, vital cognitive functions like learning and memory. The master clock, your SCN, acts as this amazing translator, turning environmental cues like light into precise biological timing signals for the whole body. And then that intricate dance of neurochemicals, like GABA pushing sleep and orexin stabilizing wakefulness, creates that robust flip-flop switch, ensuring stable, efficient transitions between states. And yet, this raises an important question. Even with all these profound advancements in our understanding, the full, complete elucidation of sleep's ultimate purpose, or perhaps purposes, well, that remains an active and incredibly compelling area of ongoing research. What new secrets does sleep still hold?
It truly underscores how intricately connected our bodies are to the very rhythms of life itself. And maybe how crucial it is for us to respect those ancient rhythms, especially in our increasingly bright, fast-paced modern world.
Something to think about. In the next episode, we'll explore how sleep shapes our memory, focus, mood, immune system, and even how long we live. We'll look at what the latest research says about different sleep stages and why some may be more important than others when it comes to protecting the brain and extending our health span.
That's next time in part 2. See you soon.